Hey everyone. So, let's talk about one of the biggest hurdles in the tech world today, moving to the cloud. It can feel like you're staring at this huge blank map, right? Just vast and unknown. But what if I told you there's a guide for that? Let's dive in. So, are you ready to move to the cloud? I mean, it's the question pretty much every IT leader is asking themselves. We all know why we should move. The benefits are obvious. But the how? Yeah, that's a whole different story. It's a huge project, and just figuring out where to start, that's often the hardest part. And just to give you a sense of what we're dealing with, take a look at the Google Cloud universe. It is huge. You've got compute, databases, AI and machine learning, networking, security, storage, data analytics. The list just goes on. It's all incredibly powerful, for sure, but man, it can also be a lot to wrap your head around. And that's exactly it, right? It's so easy to get overwhelmed. But here's the good news, there is a starting point. Google Cloud has actually built something specifically to help you cut through all that noise. And that's where this comes in, the Migration Center. Seriously, think of this as your treasure map for the whole journey. It's the one central place designed to take all the guesswork out of the equation and just give you a clear path forward. So what is this thing, really? Well, the official definition calls it a unified migration platform. But in plain English, it's a tool that speeds up your entire move to the cloud from start to finish. Doesn't matter if you're on your own servers in-house or even on another cloud, this is your command center. And it's not just a simple map. It's more like a GPS with all the bells and whistles. It's going to help you estimate what you'll spend, automatically figure out what you even have in your current setup, and give you the right tools for whatever you're trying to move. Okay, so every journey has to start somewhere, right? And for cloud migration, that starting point is discovery. You just have to know what you're working with before you can even think about moving it. It's step one for a reason. The whole process is broken down into three simple phases, and it all kicks off right here with step one, discover and assess. This is the foundation for everything else that follows. Now, here's the best part. You don't have to go around with a clipboard and a spreadsheet. The Migration Center handles this automatically. It discovers all your assets for you, giving you a full inventory of your entire environment without all that tedious manual work. Huge time saver. And once it knows what you have, you can do some really cool stuff, like generate a total cost of ownership report, or TCO. What does that mean for you? It means you can see how much this is all going to cost before you spend a dime. No more nasty financial surprises down the road. And to make it even easier to dip your toes in the water, Google Cloud actually gives you $300 in free credits to start your proof of concept. So you can play around, test the tools, and see how it all works without any initial investment. It's a great way to build confidence. All right, so you've got a clear picture of your current setup, you know what it might cost. Now it's time to actually chart the course. This brings us to step two, turning all that great data into a real plan. So, back to our three-step journey, we're now firmly in the plan phase. This is where all that discovery work pays off, and we start building an actual strategy. And this is such a great example of how it works. The Migration Center doesn't just dump data on you, it gives you direction. So let's say you want to move your virtual machines. It'll point you to the Migrate for VMs tool. Or maybe you're looking to modernize and use containers. No problem. It guides you to migrate to containers. And for your databases, there's the Database Migration Service. See, it gives you a tailored recommendation based on what you actually need to do. Okay, you've done the discovery, you've got a solid plan. Now for the exciting part. It's time to actually make the move. We're heading into the final phase, execution. And here we are, the final step on our map, execute. The beauty of this is that after all that careful discovery and planning, the Migration Center is still there to help make sure the actual move goes just as smoothly. I love this because it shows the whole transformation so clearly. The before picture is, well, it's probably familiar. Complex, lots of manual work, tools that don't talk to each other. The after picture is what we're all aiming for. Integrated, automated, and optimized. And the bridge that gets you from that messy before to the streamlined after? You guessed it, it's the Migration Center. So let's kind of wrap this up. Look, the path to the cloud can definitely seem intimidating, but the whole point here is that with the right guide, that destination is a lot closer and a lot less scary than you might think. When you boil it all down, it's about this one thing, accelerating your journey. It's about making the whole process faster, smarter, and way more efficient from start to finish. So what are the big takeaways here? It's simple. The problem, cloud migration is really complex. Your guide? The Migration Center is your all-in-one platform. The path? Just follow the 3 steps: discover, plan, execute. And the result? You get a much faster, data-driven journey to Google Cloud. So the bottom line is, you don't have to wander through the wilderness anymore. The journey to the cloud now has a map. It has a guide. You've got a clear path forward. Really, the only question left is, are you ready to start?